Can they hear us yet?
Yeah, and they should be able to hear us. What's up,
Ah,
Xeno? How's it going? How are you
I'm
doing?
alright. Can they see us?
Yeah, they can see us.
Oh, don't know
so,
about
so what? Oh my God, my water's in the screen. So, what's your favorite thing to do in your clan dojo, aside from going to the labs and fashion IKEA frame that you might be doing in your clan?
that. Actually, to be fair, really random thing. I've actually got someone to come into the clan to do the IKEA stuff because
Really?
yeah, no, seriously, I get so effed off trying to deal with the snap to grid of the corpus pieces. I'm
Mm.
just like, you person, fix, make good pretty.
Is that
Yeah,
someone from your clan, or is it someone that you contacted through the game and they're like, "Hey, you can hire me to
I
IKEA"?
I know I know them.
Mm-hmm.
They're Mecha Mario 64. I've just been talking to them for absolutely ages. I've seen some of the crazy stuff he's done. Like his Lisette, he's just covered, and it looks like an argon cave. It's incredible, and the amount of plat he must have spent on that was just mental. So I just turned to him and I said, like, is there any chance that I could, like, bring you in? And yeah, like I've not told him that I'm gonna give him some platinum for it, but
I
yeah.
mean, I can honestly see a business in there. I wouldn't be surprised if people are doing that. But yeah, like, does he have videos about that online? Does he have pictures on that we can retweet after?
I genuinely don't know. He should put pictures up places. Like I'll have to message him and say, like, yo, dude. Oh, good, I am recording. I just I
Yay!
just thought to myself, like, I'm actually recording it. I'll actually
Yeah.
message him and say, like, do you actually have pictures up on thing?
Like
Do
on
you have
like honestly,
Yeah.
the IKEA frame, entire IKEA frame industry. Like I got to know the term last year through TennoCon when one of the main IKEA frame people like approached me and we set up like a Discord for them. But the
Right.
interesting thing is I always thought it was kind of funny, and so I saw DK do a live stream on PS4 where someone showed off an entire starship made out of banners, like just banners. And it was like an entire like X-wing fighter or whatever. And it's like
Wow.
what? And that was before the time. That was like 2015 or so, before Second Dream. People were just like took banners like, what the hell? This is possible? And
Yeah.
now like honestly, I don't know if you've seen Tribal's dojo on the Xbox, but Tribal, my mod here on Twitch, he is like, oh my god, like the things he makes, like you don't feel you're in a clan dojo anymore. It's insane.
Have we officially started yet?
Yes, we have officially started.
Okay. Because we didn't actually say what the topic was or anything like that.
Well, I get
We didn't say hello or
I guess from the title it would make sense. We're talking about clans anyway. So today our question of the day is: Are clans in Warframe still useful? We're gonna be talking about well, basically clans in Warframe. Personally, I aside from IKEA frame, which I think is really fun. I don't see a lot of use in clans. Well, you have your basically the only thing that I use clans for at this very moment is to grab my resources. No, not resources. Dump my resources, but just grab my blueprints. And once I have all my blueprints, I have no place to go. Maybe if I want to trade, that trade is the only thing that I do in there. But I barely come into my dojo. When was the last time you came into your dojo, Xeno?
like during the entire event. I was in and out of that thing like a yo-yo.
Ooh.
Because like so one thing for me is I have a huge drive to have this community within Warframe that really focuses on just being part of a community sort of thing. So like anyone can join my clan. I've got zero issue like inviting anyone. The only thing I ask people to do
Mm-hmm.
is participate in clan events where we can get a trophy. Actually, only thing I ask people to do because I love, like, we had that trophy room for the longest time ever
Mm-hmm.
in Warframe, and there was nothing put in unless you were like the tippy top of the clan. You know, there was absolutely nothing, right? And when the first event where you got a participation trophy, which was Eyes of Blight, instant, right? And ever since, we have gotten every gold trophy that was available, and with Plague Star and Hostile Merger, we have got all 4 trophies.
So, can you explain again how it worked beforehand when it came to clan trophies, and how it works right now when it comes to clan trophies for people that might not be familiar with clan trophies?
So way back when I was a wee but small tenno, so yeah, ages and ages ago, the events were very, very different, to the point of you had to get to the top, the tippy top of your bracket. So be it Shadow, Ghost, Moon, Mountain, Storm. That was the one I'm missing. You had to get to the very top position. I think it was like the top 10 in order to actually get any of these trophies. And you had to have a fully active clan in order to achieve this, because if you didn't, someone did, they could steamroll right over you. So I think, what the name of the event? Like Gravidius Dilemma, I'm pretty sure had a trophy. Like loads of them had trophies, but it wasn't until you had to do something towards getting a trophy. It meant that getting a trophy was such a rare thing. It's like there are thousands of clans of any one kind. So now it's a lot easier to get a trophy, where all you have to do, as long as there is a trophy, all you have to do is jump into a event, organize your clan properly, and then you can work out how much resource is required. Yeah. So, what out of interest, what is your favorite event?
My favorite event,
Sorry.
or clan event.
Clan event where you could get a trophy. That was the point, because otherwise I would just say Gravidius Dilemma.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say Graffidius too.
But you couldn't get the trophy for that. So, so clan event where you could get the trophy through normal means. So anything post and including Operation Eyes of Blight.
All right, so let me think about which operations have been there, because I feel it's been like a long time since. I think Plague Star was the last one. We've had like a lot of Plague Star before Hostile Mergers. So we had, actually, I should probably be able to look this up. Clan event trophies Warframe, because I know that not every single one had that. This is in decorations. Let me see if we can find it. Decorations can be placed in each dojo room. Are there clan trophies? I don't think there's trophies here. So I don't know by heart which ones had or hadn't. I have to.
I can tell you them.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. So there was Plague, Eyes of Blight, right, which was the Go Destroyer Fomorian that's going to blow up a relay. Yeah. You had False Prophet, which was the introduction to the Bursars. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember. I think we also have that trophy, so I remembered in the way that it looked like. So we had the yeah.
I can't remember the order, so if anyone from chat,
I have the order here from last week when we did all the updates. The horrible shit show that was.
Okay. So then there's that was so hard to edit. Then there was Rathum, right? Is either Rathum or Shadow Det. I don't know which came first.
Let me see. Operation.
I don't think it matters. Let's
it doesn't really matter.
Waste your time. It doesn't really matter. So there's Rathum, there's Operation Shadow Det, then there's Ambulus Reborn and Pacifism Defect, right? And then it goes to Plague Star, where you could get all 4 trophies, and then there was the very recent Hostile Merger, where you can get all 4 trophies. So things like Buried Debts didn't have trophy. That infuriating Strata Relay one didn't have a trophy. There were loads of things that didn't actually have trophies, but those are the ones that did have trophies.
So I have to say that from the ones that you just named, I do think that the last event was, if you look at the mechanics, one of my favorites. Like, I really liked the easiness of it. Well, in the sense of you could just go in, you could stick around for a long time, and when I did it with Sandy, it was really enjoyable. If you have someone on voice comms, it's like you jump in, it's like I got a key, you plop it in, and you just play around. You can have music in the background. It's super relaxed. The big problem I've had though with this event is, so like, this would be my top favorite event from these things, from the last ones, if it wasn't for that the points would sometimes not register, as I've seen twice with Sanuka on Twitter, and sometimes you just have squads that would leech or just would quit. But yeah, I would say this one, if it wasn't for those things, it would be really great. Otherwise, I thought this one was really enjoyable.
Honestly, my favorite one was Shadow Dad, because it was all about everyone doing their best. It wasn't a cumulative score, and it wasn't cheesable, right? It was against the Acolytes. You couldn't easily super kill them, right? So I had to reach out to so many older players in the clan and actually say to them, I know you haven't played in a few months, or yeah, I think it was just a few months. Do you mind jumping on to help with this event so we can get the gold trophy?
How did the point scoring go for that?
So it was the best of your scores, right? And it was individuals. So I think, so similar to Hostile Merger, where you had to have, if like my clan is a Shadow Clan. Yes, Shadow Clan. I was going to say Ghost Clan, but that's a small one. It's a Shadow Clan. And we needed 60,000 points, right? So if I get, like, if I do 3 runs, I got 1,000, 4,000, 3,000. It takes the 4,000. It takes your best score and adds it to the participation of your clan. So whoever, and then it just it just adds them all together. It's the sum of all the best scores. So, and I'm unaware of any horrific cheesing of Shadow Debt, because obviously there was horrible cheesing with Hostile Mergers that's just ended, but Shadow Debt I felt was the best because it really required super participation from everyone.
I can see that. I do think. See, for me, it's different because I don't have a clan that's really active. Mainly due, most likely, to me being one of the clan leaders, and I just don't really do much with it because I just don't have the time. So, yeah, it's where we basically just like everyone just, if they log in during the 2 weeks, they just happen to do it on their own, and then I do it on my own, and I do it on the stream, but I don't really necessarily do it for the clan. So, but yeah, actually, Shadow Dab has been such a long time ago. But anyway, go ahead.
I'd be really interested to know, just like on the fly, can people in chat tell us whether or not your clan is active or whether or not you're in a solo? Just like a very brief few words. Like, are you in an active 30-man clan? Are you in a dead ghost clan? Are you in a solo ghost clan? I think I'd really love to hear what the viewers have in terms of clan structure, clan activity.
Yeah, because I think we're now looking at clans, particularly around events, but with the amount of events that we've been having in Warframe, the main status quo is that we don't have an event, and I think that it's very interesting or very relevant to see what is the purpose of a clan during that time, and is there still a use of it as it stands right now. I've also seen people talk about the leaderboards where the goal was to get your name up on the list. I do think it's a good thing that we now have trophies where people can actually get a trophy instead of just like a small percentage, especially if we have a special trophy room for it. However, I can really understand, especially when it comes to events like Plague Star, I think Plague Star is still not a good event in the way that's structured, but that's another topic. I think it's really lacking if you don't have a competitive element to that where the rankings matter, where they're in real clan leaderboards, because if they're real clan leaderboards, there is another reason for you to keep on doing the same thing and try and streamline it. However, we're talking about clans, so in the main line of Warframe, in like daily Warframe, how often do you access your clan? How much do you make use of the clan's, well, offerings?
Right. I'm going to jump in on this and say I kind of don't. I mean, the clan is as much a community as my Discord server.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I chat to people more on the Discord server than I do in game via the clans. But the people that are on my Discord server are also clan members. So, but we're not limited or anything like that. I think that would be something that DE should really consider doing. Maybe not specifically Discord, but having it so that there's a chat client for in-game, out of game. Does that make sense?
So we'll integrate that into the Warframe mobile app so that if I would be on my phone and people would be chatting in the Warframe in-game chat, we also have a Warframe app and I could join in through the app with their...
Yeah, I think the best way I can describe this is with the Blizzard Battle.net launcher, right? For anyone that's ever used any Blizzard game, so like World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, I'm so sad Blizzard is going downhill. The big thing is that you can start up the app and you can create a. I'm gonna bring this up. Well, probably going. Let me minimize all my other windows because I really will highlight how this works. Mm-hmm. Why do I have all these things open? So many applications.
I don't know what you have open. I mean, I don't think you'll. Maybe. Oh, sure. I see in your glasses. You don't want to show that. You don't want to show that.
Oh,
no. Close it. Close it. Oh,
definitely don't want to show that. Right. So with. Right. Let's see if I can find one where a friend. Actually, okay. Right. So I'm gonna swap to my monitor. So am I up? Yeah. Okay. So here we have the. Oh, this is such a brilliant idea. I'm so glad you did the webcams like this, so I can just do this. Good job.
Mm-hmm. Yay!
Right. So we have the Battle.net client, right? So this is like equivalent to Steam or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're unfortunately obscuring it. But if I bring open you're fine. If I bring open my friends list, right, I can double click on someone's name like Zale, and it will bring up the social thing, right? And I can just send him a message and he will receive it either in the client or in the game. So let's see if I can actually find someone that's in game. No one's. Oh, so this person, Sunbreaker, they are in Destiny 2. So I can message them. They are in game. And it's a brilliant way of being able to continuously establish communication with people. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that I think anything like Warframe or what have you actually benefit from. And if something like Discord, you could just talk to people in Discord like you could in game, and the conversation just travels between everything. I think that would be a brilliant thing for them to do.
I think it would benefit the clan system a lot. I don't necessarily know whether it would replace a Discord, because I think features like Discord are really solid, and I don't really I never use the in-game voice chat even though it's there because I have Discord. However, one thing that I found when I was very active with a clan, which I have to say was like 3 years ago, I was really upset that there were no inbox features, so that people couldn't message me while I was offline, and I would log back in and be like, okay, hey, so someone asked me about when are we doing this event, or hey, we're doing this. It just wasn't there. However, I think we should take a look at I kind of want to move the conversation to more around like the clan's role in Warframe. Let's take a look at what we have currently with Warframe, and I want to jump onto comments.
I'm going to jump on to a comment right now.
Yeah, I wanted. Okay, go ahead.
It was asked much further up. So Circle of Psy said, Michelle, Xeno, in my opinion, I think DE needs to rework the whole clan system. I think that the labs and trading needs to be moved, where labs to be moved to the Railjack, the new ship, and combine the orbiter with the Railjack. Trading goes into the Mara thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's supposed to be Bazaar, like Maru's Bazaar.
Yeah.
I assume phone type
Yeah.
autocorrect. And a auction house is added there. I'm 100% against an auction house.
Me too.
Right?
We agree.
Because Warframe's economy cannot support it, right?
Yeah.
It will be useful for Rivens, and that's it, right? Look at... Yeah.
All right. So very quickly, just to get over the auction house thing, I think basically the problem with Warframe is that if you set up an auction house, the way that it works is everyone like puts their offers up, and then if someone puts an offer up and you want to sell yours, you're gonna put it down under. The problem with Warframe is that the day that something launches, oh my god, this one prime piece is super rare, but the day after, everyone's gonna have it. So every single thing is just gonna go down to like 0 platinum or 1 platinum. Because the moment that one person puts down 1 platinum, everything's 1 platinum. And you might say, well, you can also have that with Cherry Chat. Well, the thing with an auction house is that I can put my listings on the auction house, and then people can like buy that there. But Trade Chat right now is I have to actively go to Trade Chat and spend time waiting to find a buyer. It opens up a free market where I believe that it's beneficial for everyone, because I can decide what I want to pay and you can decide what you want to receive, and if that doesn't align, then we debate it out, and if we can't debate it out, I'll find someone else, you find someone else. But an auction house won't work. Okay, but I think Psy touched on a couple of things. What is the role of the clan dojo? I think the role of the clan system in any game is to unite players, bring players together to face a common goal. Because otherwise, why would you not use your friends tab? So you kind of unite, you build this small community on your own to do something together. And first of all, what we see in Warframe right now is if you're in your clan, you have your trading functionality that you can trade with other players, which is just a nice added bonus. You have your TAC labs, your chem lab, your Roken labs, your labs to research weapons, which could be a common goal to like go forward to. It's more like a feature at a certain point when everything is built. It's like, oh, I just grab the blueprints. And then you have the obstacle courses and the fashion framing or IKEA framing. I think they're really fun things to do, and I absolutely love seeing new things come out, seeing people go ahead and show off their amazing things that they build in the dojos. I absolutely love that, but it's not for everyone. It's not that like it's a core game mechanic that everyone's going to be doing. So those are the features that we have in the clan right now. What I do believe it was set up for, and this is why I currently kind of feel that their use is dwindling, is something that I saw being brought up earlier, is with the removal of raids. Raids, dark sectors, I think in Alliance, which even a step above the clan, which we're not touching, is completely useless at the moment. But right now, what we're seeing is back in the day of raids, back in the day of dark sectors, the solar rail system, that's the word. You would have your clan and you would go out and group up and do a raid. You would go out and group up and do a tower survival. You would go out and group up do a dark sector. Actually, dark sectors were really closely tied to clans and alliances. Right now, a lot of these things have been taken out of the game. And when you see events, when I hear you talk about events, Drew, I'm like, that is exactly the way that I felt the clan had a place in Warframe back in the day when we were doing, oh my god, everyone who wants to do a tower for survival for an hour. Hey, we're setting our clan up to be very specific. We want to like train people and like getting them the knowledge of how to do these long tower defenses so we can stick around doing that. How we're going to do raids. I know there were raid clans. I think that those were common objectives which we now sometimes see back in events, but I think it's so few right now because we don't have that many events. and we don't have that many. Well, we do have the trophies right now, but we don't have clan leaderboards anymore. So performance clans, I do air quotes mainly because, take it as you will. I think some people don't really care too much about performance. Other people, because they're like, it's a PvE game. I also know people that take it pretty seriously, and I think that's nice because Warframe is also a skill game. Like, you can get good at this game. There's not a lot of difficulty in this game, but you can get good at it, and you can try the best other clans. So, let me see. Where I was going with this is that those kind of clans are... There is no real place for them in most of Warframe at the moment, and the only thing that I feel they offer right now is the labs and the trading posts. And if you have all the blueprints in the labs and you don't trade and you don't do the IKEA frame stuff and the running stuff, the obstacle course, I don't never set foot in my dojo, and it's just a glorified friends list, basically. And then it's like, why do I have my friends list if I have this other friends list in my clan, which kind of overlaps? So that is something that I think is going to be interesting to tackle. And yeah, I'll bounce the ball to you.
So, I personally feel that there should be more for clans, right? It should feel more like a community. And I think the only reason why my clan is quote-unquote active, because, I swear, love of God, like, every single time I go on there, there's probably about 2-3 people on there, excluding myself. I personally feel that time zones are a huge restriction, and there's nothing we can do about that. I live in the UK. I've got people all around the world in my clan. I feel that there's nothing to actively do together, right? Apart from clan events like the one we've just had, there's no huge reason to actively work together to do anything. So I'm referring to things like, go and farm Wisp. Well, I don't have to be in a clan to do that. So, I've ended up helping people completely foreign help them farm Wisp. That, they said, I need help getting Wisp. Do I just buy it? And I just turned to them and said, like, I'll help you do it. I need background footage for Warframe, but there's no advantage of doing it in clan. A large part of the problem comes from things like the Alliance Mafia, right?
What is the Alliance Mafia?
Yeah, okay, so it sounds like it is a
ooh,
conspiracy theory.
Do we have to like anonymize you? Can you talk about it if we like obscure your? All right.
But like, so the whole thing was that there was a circle of clans and alliances that would rotate who would have a solar rail, right? And what happened was that certain alliances, certain clans would hold a solar rail to the point of they would tax, I think it was like 99% of your earnings.
So what was the benefit for those who didn't play the solar rail of owning a solar rail? And you're talking about tax. What that?
So on a solar rail, you could gain benefits like, there's a higher drop chance for rare resources. You get more rare resources. You get more resources when a resource drops. You can get more credits. You can get more affinity when you're using pistols. You can get more affinity when you're using shotgun. There are all these node bonuses, and the node I always went to, Pluto node, I think it's called Sashura. I can't really remember it, but they're all like infested, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're the dark sector nodes now. Well, even though it's not really clear whether they're dark sectors now. Used to be dark sectors.
Yeah, so you would get there would be an armistice, so there would be like peacetime, so you couldn't actually try and get the node again. But because there were so many people in these alliances, they would rotate the rails, and they would horribly tax people for doing it. For just going to these missions. So you go there, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get like 500 cryotic, and you end up with something like 5 cryotic,
Dude, that's
because the rest of it has gone to the holding clan. Or the
that's
holding
pretty
alliance.
crazy, actually.
Yeah, and it was the reason why DE shut down the Dark Sector missions, because there was no way to stop it. There was no way to prevent it.
That is
So yeah,
that's crazy, dude. Like what you said earlier about that you don't really do things with clans because you can do it all by yourself. I think that for me that is a big thing why I don't feel clans are really all that useful anymore, because there's not that much that you can't do by yourself, or you can't do with randoms. Back in the day when you had the tower key system, like you wouldn't generally take randoms to join you for like the towers and be like, oh, let's go for an hour on my tower 4 key, because you didn't really trust that, and you could really like smooth out a team with your clan. And then you would have the raids where, you needed 8 people for, and you could find them via recruiting, but you could also do it with your clan. And those were really things you did with your clan. So I think that right now, when you're talking about a Rope Lotus fight, it's not that hard. If I just jump in a public mission, like 999,000 out of the whatever, like 99.9% of the time, I'm good. Like we'll make it, we'll finish it. And otherwise, the other 1% bugs out. So you don't really need a clan with that. So I think that those things and like the leaderboards and are kind of necessary in keeping the clans alive. But yeah, this is not that good either. I did not know about how bad that was.
Yeah.
So I do want to comment on. I saw a comment come up earlier where someone said, "Well, we don't need clan leaderboards in offense because they will only lead to exploits." I do want to kind of jump on why I think clan gameplay could be interesting in Warframe, and why I think there is value to it, which we don't see right now, and which we don't get right now. And that's like, let's take an event like Plague Star as an example, or basically you can take anything in Warframe, but let's take an event like Plague Star. I think that Plague Star is an event that fails on many fronts. It's an okay story. Like, if you don't know what the event is about, it's gonna be coming up soon. It's gonna be coming up soon. But yeah, Lost and Xeno kind of took it apart in their 10 o'clock when it spawned for the first time. But basically, a meteorite slams into the plains. It's an infested one, and the story goes that the meteorite is spawning infested, and the infested will take over Cetus, and if like one person gets infested, then they can infect other people. So it will be the end of Cetus if you don't get rid of it now. So Tenno, you have to go out here because the lives of Cetus people depend on it. So it's a pretty good story. Like it's alright, you have some reason, and it's alright. But then you come into Cetus and the implementation is just bad. Like you come into Cetus, all these people are just like chilling. They're just chilling. They don't really care. I was like, well, is this really the end of Cetus? Like, all right, maybe it's the end of Cetus, but they don't really care. They're really tough people. You go out, you attack the meteorite, and you have to, like, do something with toxins and antitoxins and things like that. You have to mix them up, and then you have to put them in the meteorite, and then you'll kind of, like, kill it. And then it will spawn some enemies, and maybe more enemies if you put more in, and then you fight them, and then you're dealing damage to the meteorite. However, if you go to the meteorite and you're there for like the longest amount of time and you so-called complete your mission, it doesn't change in appearance. Your impact to the world is absolutely 0. Add to that if you do a mission, it's not a progress bar of how much health there is in the meteorite. It's just there for 2 weeks. And it doesn't matter whether one person in the entire of the Warframe community does it or everyone does it 100 times. It will just be there for 2 weeks. So basically what it says is, well, the people of Cetus don't care. Your actions, you can't see them making an impact on the world, and it really doesn't matter because it's just a timer, and then we'll just be gone. So those are 2 major flaws. Add to that a third thing is that it's not really hard. there's not really a lot of difficulty to it, and it's a pretty straightforward mission. No changing tile sets, no changing enemies. It's basically you're just doing the same thing over and over again. So it becomes really repetitive, and a lot of people are just doing it to get the rewards, like the blueprint rewards. And I think that an event based on extrinsic rewards, which are like rewards that you can get for like tokens or credits or anything, is pretty bad as compared to intrinsic rewards, which is like the enjoyment of playing, which I think Gradius like nailed. So an event like that, which I don't really think is a great event, could be really done well with a clan with like a clan leaderboards. How so? Like, let's say that you have this event where it's pretty boring, it's pretty average, like nothing really changes. What is your reason for like trying to streamline the process, or trying to like invest into the runs, or trying to figure out what the best way is to do the runs? There's no reason for it. Maybe because you want to save some time, but do you really want to invest your time in saving those 2 seconds? Not really. But what if there's like a competition where it's like, hey, you can try and beat another clan. You can try and beat other people in your score. Then there is an added layer to it, which is kind of like a PvP layer, which you don't actively have to engage into, which is why I think that the new trophy system is a great thing. But you could, and that would add another layer of engagement, which could make the runs themselves worthwhile. Above like the rewards that you get for like doing them, and above the story, it's just like, I want to do this as good as I can. And if you got it down to perfection, maybe there's someone that was better than you, and you go again, you try again. Of course, exploits are pretty shit at breaking that, but I hope they crack down on them. But that's where I think that the clan leaderboard comes in, and clans can really have like a great function in that. And then you can also have like, hey, I really want to push for this. You guys want to join with me, and you can teach each other things, and like what we do on stream, where we like exchange mod builds and ideas, and like, hey, have you tried approaching it from this way? That's a great thing, and which leaderboards can help, but Plague Star doesn't have them. So yeah, that's my idea on it. Let me know what you think, Sino.
I feel that leaderboards, they can be a benefit and a curse. It's super difficult, right? You want to engage your community. You want to. So I'm talking D. Mm-hmm. D wants to engage their community. They want to make sure everyone's happy. They want to make sure that people have something to do, right? Mm-hmm. And the leaderboards can be something for a minority. The gold trophy could be something for a minority. Just getting the resource, getting wisps could be something for a minority. There's the plot could be something for a minority. You package this all up together, you have a operation, and that is something for everyone to do. Someone has something to do in one aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Right? So the problem is players absolutely live to cheese stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm not gonna lie, right? I've been involved in academic research where users cheat so many different systems, and okay, so a little bit of a story time with Xeno. Right.
Yay! Story time with Xeno, love it.
So we have this teaching tool, mm-hmm. right, where it's a multiple choice question system, and at any point in time during the multiple choice system, you could go have a look at your results. So, and if you got it wrong, you could change it. You could change your result, so your answers. Mm-hmm. So you go through it, and you're like, so one of the key questions, it was just about general knowledge, right? How often does the moon rotate around? So orbit's the word, the Earth, right? And there were loads of answers. It was like one day, once a day, once a year, once a month. Once, I think, yeah, it was a number of days. Like it was a 1 day, 365 days, 28 days, and there was another one I can't remember, mm-hmm. right? Like half a day or something like that. And the answer is 28 days, because that's how you have phases of the moon. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing was the number of people that would answer the question, then go have a look at their answer, see if their score has increased. And if it hasn't, they'd remember that they answered it wrong. right? They'd like write it down on a piece of paper. It's not 1 day. Yeah. Then they go do the test again, and then they would answer 365 days, and their score didn't change again. So they'd write down, it's not 365 days. And so students were maxing out their scores, so they had perfect scores, and the researcher couldn't understand why. Right? And it's all about Skinner box techniques. It's as weird as it is. You've put a progress bar in front of a user. It could measure their strength. It could measure the number of steps they've taken. It could measure the number of Pokemon they have. It could measure how many points they've gotten in hostile mergers. It doesn't matter what it measures. People are primally competitive. It's on a primal level. We want to do the best we can for the least amount of effort. Ember, World on Fire, perfect example, right? Nova's Molecular Prime, another perfect example. Ash's Old Blade Storm, another perfect example. They nerf these things down because it was too easy, right? Loki's Switch Teleport, the demo lists, exactly the same thing.
I do think when you're talking about that, people's primal instincts is to be competitive and try to get the best score. I think that is a very keen, good motivator, which I could not imagine DE doesn't want to tap into. Now, of course, you don't want to get into the field of exploits. In the moment that the game becomes unfair, people will not like it. So when one Warframe beats out all the others, people don't like it. When there is an exploit that you can do the entire thing in 1 second, if you kind of cheat, it won't work. However, as a matter of fact, there are so many games that run really well as competitive games, which people play over and over again. I believe that of the top games on Twitch all the time, there's always a majority of competitive games on there. And I think that it would be a nice thing. It's a really nice thing for Warframe to have. And I thought that the solar system, I've actually never really done the solar rails with my clan. Let me make that clear. When I was almost done with building them, they shut it down. I was like, oh well, great. That's not really all that great, but okay. I think that there was a flaw in it, in that there was something to be exploited. There was this tax thing that you could raise up to an incredibly, insanely high level. I don't really think that that's something that that should be pinned down on the natural competitiveness of people, because people will try and cheese it. And I don't know what the test was for, what the surveys were looking for, whether it was a psychological test to look for how people interact with surveys, whether it was to be tested as a, hey, we're going to do a classroom test, or whether it was a attempt at looking for data. But if it's an attempt for looking for data, then most of the time, if I were to take data from people, I would not put in a progress bar, because
just to answer that briefly, the whole point of it was to see whether or not people would aspire to do better, given the fact that they know how their score was, right? And it's like, hold on,
I mean, okay, so if you were answering a survey, or if you were doing, well, let's say you were answering a survey, and you saw a progress bar, and you just saw that it just wouldn't increase after a certain amount of questions, would you just be like, oh well, I guess I'm just wrong, or would you be like, maybe I can do this a little bit better? Would there be a part of you that would think that?
To be honest, if I was in those shoes, I would just give up. Fine, close. Honestly, that is what I would do. I would just close the thing down.
I think I might be like, well, hey, let's see what this progress bar thing does. Hey, it increases, and then just either go let me get the score exactly on 69%, and then we're good. And then just
actually, comparatively, this is why I prefer Elite Sanctuary Onslaught against arbitrations. I know we've gone on a bit of a tangent. Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, you can make frequent minor changes and get to the results sooner than with arbitrations, because if you do minor updates to your build, or which Warframe you're bringing, what weapons you're bringing, which ones you got in weapons. It takes much longer to get to the has it made a difference point in an arbitration compared to Elite Tank.
I think that
Yeah.
okay, so we've kind of got off to a tangent, but I kind of want to see if we can take this and bring it back to clans. And I think that we both sort of could agree that if there are no events, then there's very little point in a clan unless you're actively maintaining that community. And it's like I'm sustaining. I'm like putting a lot of time into sustaining this friends group or this community, and we have a Discord outside of it, and we talk a lot with each other. So unless you put yourself a lot of effort into sustaining a clan, then there's not a lot to it. If you have all the research done in the labs and you've gotten all the parts that you could get out of it, and you don't really do trading, or maybe you do trading sometimes, there's not a lot of things to do around a clan. So I think that part of it is either due to like a lack of competitiveness between clans, because why would you need to have a certain banner if there's nowhere to like compare your banner against someone else's banner and then like fight it out? And I say that with, well, if you should choose, not everyone is here to do a PvP game, but if you should choose, you could do it. Like, you don't have to be on top of the list. Like, I wouldn't really care with my clan. I wouldn't really care. Like, I know I got other things to do, but I can see how that would be interesting. I do think that if Warframe goes into a competitive angle, which I think would really benefit the game, because there's a lot of downtime, and competitiveness, it does add on to content more than like if you do sacrifice once, it's just like the sacrifice once. But if you like speed run it against people, this is where I can really understand speed running. Even though I've never done it myself, it's like I do a sacrifice once, like an hour or an hour and a half of content. You're done with it. You're like done with it, and you speed run it. You can play it for weeks and try to perfect it. It's like there is so much more to be had out of the context if you add some competitiveness to it. But it has to be done right. And I think that that's one of the first steps in which I think Warframe Clans could be more useful, like way more useful than they are right now. If there is point one, competitive, an option to competitiveness, which is like less sustainable, like less susceptible to cheating and like exploiting as previous systems were. And number two would be like more difficulty. And this is where I want to like take your ESO where we ended on and bring it back in. It's like, as I said, there's no tower system anymore to get people for like a tower survival. There's no raid. There are no raids anymore where you need 8 people for, and you might want to do it, even though raids were pretty broken, really broken. But you don't have that anymore, and I know clans have solved over that. But even still, like more importantly, there is nothing in the game that I feel can't be done with a public squad. Hell, even Orokin derelict faults, you needed 4 people for that. Now I can just take all 4 keys on me, and I don't even need people anymore. It's like there's nothing that's really hard. There's nothing that's so difficult that you need people with you. That's like, hey, let's strategize this. Let's think of what warframes we're going to take, because otherwise we won't survive this. And I'd hoped that ESO was going to be that. My initial idea when ESO came out was like, okay, this is going to be really endgame, and you're going to start off so high level that you're not going to pass round 2, and every round that you pass is like a major landmark, because it's going to be so much harder. And now, like from day 1, people were farming it. I was like, oh yeah, we'll just go to round 8, and that's rotation C, and then we'll leave. And now we discovered through the last 10 o'clock that we did that people are leaving at wave 1, because if they have affinity boosters, they can rank up their weapons within 1 round, and they just leave, and that's it. So like, it's not hard enough, and there's nothing to it where you would make a squad. Even though like that idea what you said with tweaking and then seeing the results, that was what I had in mind with like ESO. That would have been so great. You just go in, you take different weapons with different elements to it, and like, I'm gonna use my primary for Corpus, my secondary for Grenier, but you don't.
So bringing this back, right? I feel that players, so I feel that DE should implement in a benefit for clans, right? They were talking umpteen ages ago where we'll have the kingpin system, and on our very first episode we were talking about how that kind of, was it the first one? I can't remember which one.
What's the first one?
We were talking about
how it got shelved for now. So it's like
Exactly.
it's in the background. They're not actively working on it. Might come back in the future. Might come back in a different form in the future, but it's shelved right now.
Right. I think one thing that would instantly get clans more active, add in a clan only Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. So you can only do it with clan members, right? And then you have a much better chance at getting the rewards from from regular ESO as well as some extra stuff, right?
So how would that in the reward skill compare to regular ESO? Because let me play devil's advocate to like I'm a pretty social player. I'm not a really solo player, but let's say that I'm a solo player and I want to do ESO. I don't really care about playing in the clan so much. I do feel that yes, you can add benefits to there being in the clan, but also know there's a really strong solo community in this Warframe community that's like, oh, I want to play my game solo. And I'm like, all right, you should be able to play your game solo, but there should also be little bonuses if you co-op in this co-op game. So how would you make sure, that there is benefit to doing it for a clan, but it's not so much that people would really get upset because, yeah, I'm losing a big time if I'm a solo player.
Right. So what I'm proposing is like a better chance at resources, right? So I'm gonna let's go on a minor let's hypothetical this. Hypothetical. Let's take the aura former from arbitration, and we'll put it in what's it called Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. It's in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught as well as Clan Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, right? The difference is that clan will have like, I don't know, 1.5 times better drop chance, 2 times better drop chance. So it's better for, and you could just say, right, okay, you're on a clan one. All it is rotation C, right? As long as everything drops on rotation C. But the whole point is that it's a nicer way of doing it. And you could change it so that there isn't a specific selectable thing on 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 the star chart on the navigation. All you do is you take the 4 players, as long as they're in the same clan, the game goes, oh, I recognize you. You are an ESO, so you are all together, and thus you are a clan ESO, right? Or a clan arbitration. Or a
So
clan, yeah.
so it would be like a synergy that you get between warframes that equip in their signature weapons. It's like it doesn't really say it, but there is a hidden thing behind it that kind of improves it. I was also thinking about how would you feel about this idea if we're going on the idea of like new ideas. Let's say,
Sorry, could I?
yeah, go ahead.
There was one. The whole point of the solo clan thing,
Yeah,
right? Right. So the whole point of the solo clan thing is you're not forced to do the clan stuff to get a event. I mean, hell, you could do it that it's also based on alliance, right? So alliance ESO, right? And that
but
way
then what?
you are in your clan on your own. But if you're in an alliance with other people, right, you can do it with them and still gain the benefits.
But then,
It's your clan, it's your dojo, but you're still getting the perk.
but then, why would there be a difference between a clan and an alliance if they're both doing the same thing? Why would you not have remove one and then make either a really big clan or like an alliance?
So the question is, why do people want to be in solo clans to begin with? Right? I personally don't know. I like to be in a community, but I know Crash, he likes to be in a solo clan. Like he wants to use the dojo for different means that other people have, right? People might be like, oh no, I just want to be on my own. I don't want to engage with other people. I appreciate it, but if you want to have a benefit to being in a community, then you've got to give the benefit. Otherwise,
Yeah.
there's no point. You might as well just take out clans entirely.
Yeah. Like, okay, so I do wonder though. I can understand people want to have solo clans, and that's fine. And I think if you want to play this game solo, there are solo modes. It's fine. That's alright. If you want to do it solo, your way. Do whatever you want, man. But I do also feel that you got to keep in mind it's a co-op game. It's made to be a co-op game. So if there are benefits to doing it together, then so it will be. And then yes, if you want to do solo, yeah, you can have your way. But if there are things that are easier or better to be done, or there are benefits to doing it together, then I mean it's a co-op game. You can't really expect that to not be there. But I was wondering, like, I posed a question of why would there be alliances and clans, like both these things together, if you would have the same benefit to go to your alliance and your clan. Then why would you have two of these things? Why not make it one? And yeah, I don't think if you make a solo clan and you're like, I just want to do everything solo and I want to have a clan because I want to have my research and want to build my own place, that's fine. But then I don't think that these people that make solo clans would be in an alliance, because why would they go in an alliance if they want to make a solo clan? Personally, I do want to add to that. I am not one of those people. So like, if you are a solo clanner, props to you, and then let us know why you might, like, how you look at it, because I'm not a solo clanner. I don't know if you are. True. Like, no, I'm pretty sure you're not. But yeah, so it's like, I'm trying to reason as someone that might be in a solo clan. So it could be wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. So I asked in chat how many people watching are in solo clan, and thus far no one's responded. So either they can't read my message because I'm too full of myself.
We have a response here from Mr. I'm butchering your name. I'm so sorry. I left my old clan because I was solo. Now one guy came back. He's solo now.
No. So they left their clan, so they're not in a solo clan. However, Circle of Size said that they are in a solo clan. Thalian Grace said that I'm in your clan. Yes, you are in my clan.
Is that by any chance a solo clan?
No, my clan is not a solo.
Oh, really? Is it not? Maybe to the people that are in your clan. Maybe no. Just kidding.
Wait. Is that Muda?
Yeah, that's Mudar.
Oh, I wonder if that's the same Muda I think it is. Oh,
he says Xeno knows my name. I hope. Yeah.
No, I know who that is. Right. Okay.
Yay. So Mike H says, I left War Bros and Olid and Prestigious Clan because everyone wasn't active.
Yeah.
I wonder where the inactivity comes from. Like, I think it's because I would, if I look at myself as like I created my clan. I built it right from the start of Warframe when clans were introduced. We had a clan. Spent my first start platinum on Formas in the dojo. It was fun to build up your clan, build up your rooms, and then create your labs and research things in your labs. And then when events came around, we would do some things for events, but we haven't had events in a long time, but like not as frequent as we used to have. And there's been a lot of downtime with events. And in regular gameplay, as we talked about, you don't really need clans. So if it wasn't for content creation, I might not be playing Warframe. Like I like if I were to like just look at Warframe as I play Warframe by myself, I most certainly would get bored with it really, really fast. However, the fact that I stream and that I create content for YouTube, like if I go on a stream and people want to go and farm things, I enjoy that. Like I created two new accounts and 2 different consoles so that I could play with people on Xbox and PS4, and I super like that. I probably would have done that if I was just playing by myself. But so I can understand that people that are just in a clan they're just doing it by themselves, they're just playing Warframe. It's like, yeah, you know, why would I continue? And I can totally understand that. So one thing that I kind of want to move into is like one of the things that Warframe might have tried to correct that, I think, recently with the clan tiering or the clan rankings, which I think is so weird. So if you guys are not familiar with it, clans basically have rankings, which is if you build new things to your dojo, if you build new rooms, original new rooms, so not if you like duplicate them, but if you build lab for the first time, you're going to get some points. Kind of like how a master rank works. If you research some things for the very first time, you're going to get points like a master rank. And then if you reach ranks, then you can do a celebration of ascension or something, or ascension ceremony. And then based on your rank, you'll get some endo. And I remember when that came out, it was like, oh my god, we're ranked 9, or what, I don't even know what the ranks are. But we were ranked something, let's say rank 9, and we got a bunch of endo for once. And after that, like, I've never really seen anything interact with that. And it's so weird. Like, I'm like, all right, well, we got a rank, and now it doesn't mean anything because nothing comes out to, like, improve that rank or change that rank. The progression is so slow that I think that doesn't really aid the inactivity of members, and I don't think you can really fault people for becoming inactive because it's the way it is. If there's not a lot of content in the game and you're an endgame player, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go play something else, which I say you should. You absolutely should. If you get tired of playing the game, go play something else because there are really, really cool things out there. One thing that I wanted to, like, one little addition before I toss it back to you when it came to, like, the clan ESO. One thing that I thought that might be interesting for, like, a clan benefit, what if you're doing something with your clan together, and I'm thinking about IKEA frame and obstacle course right now, which are not core game elements. I'm sorry, IKEA frame community, but they're not core game elements. So I don't think people will get angry about this. But what if you're playing with your clan, that you get a resource bonus, and that bonus will only go to your clan folds. So let's say I'm doing a mission with my clanmates, and we're farming ferrite to build things in the clan. And if we're all together, like, from our total number of resources, we get a bonus percentage, which we don't get, but that goes directly into the clan fold so that we can build more things in our dojo.
I think the answer to that is, then what is the purpose of, like, okay, have you completely maxed out your focus?
No.
Right. To me, I have the waybounds, and that's all I care about.
Yay.
Right. I don't care to do the others. And to a lot of players, that would be the same thing. Mm-hmm. I have the dojo, so I have the labs, I have the research stuff done. What more do you want? Right. So having resources go into the clans isn't a huge benefit, right? There's nothing gained there.
HEMA.
And I have the HEMA, so what's the benefit for me?
I mean, if you're in a clan right now and you need to research the HEMA, or a new HEMA comes out, you have a stockpile.
Yeah, but again, I have a stockpile of resources just from playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having it personal, having the benefit for playing with clan members goes to you, then you can choose what to do with it. So if you choose to donate the resources into the dojo, do it, right? Mm-hmm. If you're like, no, I need these mutagen samples to make the HEMA, then again, you've got that advantage. But because there is no personal benefit for being with a clan, there's no reason to be in a clan.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the idea of, if you play with clannies in ESO, you get a benefit. Maybe that should just be across the board. You play with clannies, you just get a benefit, right? I think there would be a lot more clan jumping if that was the case, but that's what it's like in the likes of World of Warcraft, right? If your clan, if you want to go do raiding, but your clan is inactive, your guild, you leave that guild and you find an active one. Raid School Bus was someone mentioned it a while ago.
Yeah.
Raid School Bus was such an amazing concept because it was a community of people that wanted to do the raids, but they didn't have to jump ship or do anything. It was like, we will take you to do the raids and you will enjoy yourself. right?
I didn't experience that much of Raid School Bus, but the moments that I did, it was a great community because you literally just came in. It was a perfect place. We're like, are you a new player? You need some you need some help? Put it down here. We have some questions, like frequently asked questions, I think, that were answered, and you can jump in. We have coaches, we have people that will take you on, and if you're more experienced, here you can like look for a group. It was really, really active. Like I really, really like that, and I think that you're hitting the nail on the head when it comes to if you're adding features or things to the clan, where it's like it's donated to the clan dojo, or we're adding a new thing, you're gonna research it. It's gonna be pointless again. But I do think that an extra boost across the board, as long as it's not too insane. But then again, it's like you can also just create a clan and play with players, and like I think that might add some more use that people will actually care about which clan they're in, because right now I don't think so.
I'd also argue that there has to be some allowances for solo clans. So if you are in a clan literally on your own, if you play on your own, you get some benefit. Not as much as playing with other players, but you still get a benefit, right? Because I don't want to... Actually, if you are in a solo...
how would it be, like how would it be if like I would be in my clan, because okay, so let's say this: would there be a difference between having one extra person just doing it together with two people from the clan, or three people or four people from the same clan? Would there be a difference in the boost that you get? And if there isn't, if I just do it solo, then 100% of the players in my squad are from the same clan, so would I receive that boost as well?
I see, this is really difficult, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I was about to say, if you're in a solo clan, right, and you play with anyone else, you still gain a benefit, right? But then there's that problem of, then that incentivizes people to just be on a clan in their own, right? So I don't want to do that. And then there's the thought of, if X many people, so say you do it, maybe it has to be gradual. So if you are in a clan of 30 people, if you do it with one other person, you get like a small additional bonus. If you get and basically it's dependent on how many people you get with you. I really don't know. This is something that needs proper conceptual design. I can't do it off the top of my head because literally I've just fought myself twice. So
can't you? I mean, everyone on the forums seems to think they can. I'm just kidding. always.
Shots fired.
I mean, so many times you go out there and people are like, "This is the way it should be," and DE just take my idea and implement it straight away. It's like not always that's the way it works. I do think that. Like, I saw people offer like a 15% bonus per clan member in your squad, or a 25% bonus. I do think that the bonus should be low. I think someone offered a 5%. I think 5% would be decent, because one thing that you could do with this is the thing that kind of killed raids for general players, is that yes, you had a raid school bus community, yeah, you had amazing clans that did raids and like had fun with the raids, but what was for me one of the perceivable bad things of raids is that if you were new to the game and you wanted to do a raid and you weren't in a clan because you weren't really that social, you hadn't really met someone because you were just playing this game by yourself, you would kind of be like, hey, I want to join a raid, and the requirement for joining a raid was knowing how to do a raid. And if you would have like a 15% bonus, which can stack up to 45% if you were with four people, that's pretty insane already. A 45% like resource boost. Then it might become 60. Like, oh no, like because you get 3 extra people. Like, would you also count to get yourself, or would it just be a 45, like 15 per other extra squad member? I thought per extra squad member.
Okay, if you want to do extra squad member, I'm fine with that. But the way you said it, 4 times 15 is 45. I'm like, pretty sure it's not.
No, I was like, if you were 4 squad members, a 3 extra. But I mean, even if it's 60, that's over 50%, which is pretty big. That would kind of like negate a booster. Like, you could buy a boost, but why would you if you already have a 60% boost? Like, that's pretty big. And then what I think, even if that booster would apply to like relic chances, then like recruiting tab would just be like, come on, just enter the clan. Like, I'm not gonna play with randos anymore. We just enter the clan. If you're not in the clan, then I won't play with you.
So Omran has actually pointed out that same exact flaw.
Mm-hmm.
Xeno, Michelle, if that clan's bonus were implemented, if that clan bonuses were implemented, wouldn't people play less in public lobbies because of the clan bonuses? So I think if you were to reduce, like, I think 45% extra bonus that's maybe too
Mm-hmm.
much, but I think if you were to have a lower number, like maybe if it's resource drops, if it's rare resources have a extra 5% per person dropped, then bringing that up to 15%, that's not too bad, and I don't think that's anything not worth playing the game for. Does that make sense? So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna play the game. Oh, no one else is online. Oh, I'm not going to play the game. No, I think I would certainly just continue to play the game regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mike turns around and says, I was thinking 4 times whatever percentage. Yeah, 15 was definitely too high. So yeah, it's whatever you put in. It has to be a low addition. Like, I'm totally down for the rare stuff, like freaking aura formers having a double % chance to drop. Maybe it's a simple case of the game has to be more reactive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are 4 people in a clan, so 4 people in a run, and you're doing arbitrations, then we double the chance that an aura former will drop, because it has like a 2% chance or a 5% chance to drop anyway. So you're going from 5 to 10. You still have to do a lot of the bloody things to try and
Yeah.
get one. But if it's a case of, you're after an argon crystal, you're pretty much guaranteed to get an argon crystal per mission. We don't need to make it too much easier.
You'll get 5 extra credits per mission if you play with a clan member.
Oh my god!
Oh, that no one would care.
Not that low. Not that low.
But actually, one thing I saw it being mentioned before, but I want to know your opinion on it, because we're talking about bringing more attention to playing with clannies, and having clans play a more integral role and giving people a reason to use them. How do you feel about the night wave, or if it ever returns, wave challenge of doing something with a friend or a clanmate, which I saw someone speculate that they might not return? How do you feel about those?
It was announced that they're not returning.
Oh, they announced it? I missed that.
Yeah. They announced it. So I was fine with them, but I'm in a position that a lot of people aren't in. I have people, friends, what have you, everywhere. If someone who has maybe 3 or 4 people in their friends list has me in their friends list, and they turn to me and say, like, hey, I would love it if you took off, would you help me get 60 minutes in a survival with a friend? I'm like, yeah, sure, done. There you go, here I am. Because it's easy for me because people come to me, whereas it's difficult for them because their friends list is so small. So I can fully appreciate that. So removing it isn't the end of the world for me, but I think it's really important for them.
I think 2 things just before I answer. I do want to say I should speculate, because if I don't know for sure whether they announced it, I'm not going to say that someone said that they announced it, because I don't have that background info. Xeno knew that it was announced, but I will never say they announced it if I don't know 100% for sure that they announced it. I'm not on the up and up with everything, but I don't want to have an angry DE by desk be like, oh my god, you just said that we announced Railjack for tomorrow.
Right, so genuinely the number of times, so if people are unaware, content creators, as long as they've opted into it, get an NDA email at the start of the week that says this is the stuff that may or may not what's called, nothing's concrete, come into the game this week, blah blah blah. And the number of times I'm like, I'm gonna say this, and I really hope I haven't just broken the NDA.
Oh man.
So, but
Yeah.
thus far I have not.
Yeah, that's why I'm always like, well, maybe it may or may not be, because I don't want to be on record of saying something is and then it's not yet official. So, but yeah, I do think that on the requirement of playing with a friend or clanmate, I think one of the easiest way to like get around that was be like, hey, we're doing a sortie. You want to add me as a friend very quickly so that we can complete this challenge? I was like, all right, fine. So
Yeah.
I think it was like nice to go around it, but yeah. It's not a big loss. I still feel Nightwave is going to be an interesting topic when the second season comes out, and then to see how that moves on.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially with Night right now, the situation is horrible. But that's a different topic. So yeah.
Deadpan silence.
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess. Do you feel we need to add more to it, or have we talked about? I think we've pretty like there's not a lot of discussion around whether clans outside of events like have a lot of use. I actually want to add something to it. I do think that it would be like one thing that I've always wished for with clans is that this is kind of like you create your dojo as your place for your community, and where you join in with your community, and you're and like if you have an active clan and you have some people that you see regularly, it's like we're making this place because this place will be our home, but you never really go there. You're never incentivized to go there, and I've always thought that it would be an interesting thing if instead of like there would be an option instead of spawning your set that you could spawn in your dojo, that you would like acted like physically see your people when you log into the dojo, you spawn and you see other people around. It's like, oh hey, there's other people, let's go do something. We do have an arsenal in the dojo right now. We do have a navigation menu in the dojo right now, so it can actually be used. But it's kind of like a waste of time if you're like, hey, my friend in the clan, let's go team up. Let's move to the dojo and then go into a mission. Like, you're not gonna do that because that takes so much time. So you're always just gonna be like skip, and then like you don't really get there.
So Muda's turned around and actually said something like really important. You don't go there because you don't have access to everything. Give me a full ship and I'll stay there. And I completely agree. If they were to make the dojo so that you had access to your syndicates, if you had easier access to your arsenal, you do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do have access to it. I think that. Oh wow, that's Warframe. Is that actual play Warframe?
That might or may not be actual. There it is, and that's a
It
real
is actual
Xenogelion as
Warframe.
well. You're seeing that
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah. So I've been derailed. Yeah, so the thing is, if you were to put the elements from your Lisette, if you had your animal companions just walk around your dojos, you know, so on and so forth, if it was all in one place, then you would more than likely stay there.
Mm-hmm.
However, because, it's all broken apart, like, why don't people stay in the relays? It's because, again, you don't have access to everything.
No.
It's a lot harder to do things. It's a lot easier to just run up to a terminal and hit X rather than hit escape, go to arsenal, equipment, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like I do feel that I'm more closely bounded to my dojo, and like I remember building it, and I was like, this is such a sad thing that I don't really get here, and I don't know. It might be more bonding if you like see each other, like you actually like spawn in your dojo and you just fly with your set. But then yeah, like I don't think the mods segments works. Like you can go into your arsenal in your dojo, but you can't upgrade mods. And I found that in the Simulacrum too, it's a big miss if you're trying to like make a good build and it's like, oh my god, I need to like upgrade this one mod. It just doesn't work. It's like, oh, I need to go back again. But yeah, so anything you want to add on the topic of clans, which hasn't been discussed yet?
I think it's really tricky to design whatever to make clans viable, right? We tried to design, or I tried to design, here's the bonuses for doing clan stuff, and instantly I was falling over the conceptual idea of how do solo clans work, how do alliances work, how do so I can appreciate fully it is difficult. You need to have a good, viable reason for people to come and play together. And I think there's one thing that we haven't really touched upon. I don't think we need to spend too long touching upon it, but clans that have outlandishly ridiculous requirements to join, right? Like, okay, my clan's requirements, you just participate in operations, that's it. I'd otherwise come have friendly time. All my clan members, apart from people I personally don't know, right, have access to do anything in the clan apart from edit the hierarchy, because only the owner can do that, or kick people, because I don't want random people kicking other random people.
Yeah.
Right. So that's it. That's But some people are like, oh, you have to be at least MR24. I've seen that. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you absolutely joshing me right now?
Honestly, I feel it's kind of like the free market idea. If like the requirements are insane, and I've heard pretty insane requirements, I'm like, why would anyone ever want to go join your clan? Because we're just talking about a clan in Warframe. It's like it should just be fun. And like I have the same thing. It's like, you can join my clan. We have everything, and like if you want to play with me, just let me know. I just don't have the time between editing and streaming to like go and actively moderate the clan and be like, oh, let's go do this. Like, yo, if you just see me online, just hit me up, man. Like, I'd like that. But I'm like, I would personally be like, if I were to look for a clan and I'd just be like, hey, can I join your clan? Just like, yeah, you gotta do all of this things. I'll just be like, no, I don't care. You just do you, because I don't really like. At the end of the day, it's just a clan in a game, and I'm like, who cares? Who cares about your clan? It's like, if you only care about having me in your clan if I'm good enough, then like, why should I join it? Because like, if I'm doing bad for some reason, then you'll just kick me out. You don't care about me. You only care about performance. And I'm like, well, it's like, I think it's a free market thing. So if I feel compelled to join a clan like that, then I can. But if I don't want to, because in all honesty, it might be a little bit ridiculous. You can just find another clan. There are really great clans out there. It's not like you have to join that clan, and there are very particular benefits to it. So I don't know whether like how you feel with that, but yeah, I've seen those requirements. It's insane.
Yeah, I think a large part of the problem is that some people. So a little bit of history for me is I didn't start my own clan. I joined someone else's clan, and like we wanted to invite our friends, but the clan members, they didn't want to expand the clan outside of a ghost clan. And I said, well, because you couldn't downsize of that point.
You can right now.
You couldn't for the longest time. So I turned to them and I said, okay, what if I pay the former costs, so actually spending platinum to do this, to allow you guys to build the dojo however you wanted, and you would allow us to invite our friends? And they were like, yeah, totally. They were fine with it. However, they were very meticulous in the design of their dojo. So it was any long-term clan knows you put all five labs together, right? Don't spread them out. Yeah, actually, technically, it's just four. The Orican lab doesn't do anything. But what?
So we basically, me and my cousin, we made our clan. We basically were just like, let's build something. So I have no idea what the layout of our clan is. I think some people kind of like build and made sense out of it, but everything is spread out. We don't have the labs together. It's horrible.
Right. But do you have teleporters next?
I do have teleporters with names on them, so we can find them.
This was before that. So only one person could actually design the dojo, right? And they had to whenever like a new room was being added, they had to deconstruct the entire dojo back to the starting room and reconstruct it back out, right? And because it would take 24 hours to destroy each room, right? It would take forever. Oh, we need to increase the capacity of the dojo, so I need to build another 4 power reactors. Start breaking it down and building it back up. Like literally, they only did it once,
Oh
right?
my
They
God.
didn't get to the point of adding another. They got bored, right?
Yeah, of course.
They played for 2 weeks. They had this ludicrous and like, so when I left, I'm not going to name anyone else. When I left, we didn't say we were leaving, right? We were waiting for weeks for them to come back. They never did. So, I didn't do the right thing. I didn't say we're leaving for whatever reason. We didn't give them a chance to fix the issue. I left with other people and I started my own dojo with Loz, right? Who was playing at the time. So we created our own dojo. A friend of ours, nicknamed us. Oh, we should just call the clan Frame Face. Genuinely, no idea why. We just went with it. It sounded like a fun name, and we designed the dojo to be functional over fashionable. So there is an entire floor dedicated to power cores because no, we're not building it into the layout.
No. You do also have a Captura part where
Floor.
okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's where
There's a floor for stuff.
a lot of my shit and my things were shot. But yeah, that's
No, only like one thing. It was only one
I
thing.
was in that. Oh yeah, a lot. I'm gonna say a lot. The most important parts, I was in it. The most important parts were shot in that dojo. All right, let's get to the questions, guys. If you have, I think we've kind of gotten to the point. We kind of rounded up. Clans, in essence, if you have your tech lab, okay. So if you have completed all your research, if you have gotten everything from your labs, and you don't really trade that much, there's not a lot of point in clans at the moment, or not a lot of use if there's no event going on. The way to improve it might be via clan bonuses with resources or resource drop chances if you play with clan members, though that's like a really tricky thing to work out, but I do think that might be a way to go. So I hope there would be more reasons to clans. I think that we haven't touched alliances, but I think alliances are even worse off because, like, I mean, if it's hard to like find people, like find reason within clans, and alliances, like, yay, I go to my alliance every day. But
fix clans first, then look at
yes,
alliances.
I would say so. But if you guys have any questions regarding what we're just talking about right now with clans, or just anything else, like, feel free to ask away.
Michelle, who do you think I am? I already got them asking question.
I know, but I want to mention it too.
So here we go. Circle of Size asks, do you think that the idea of having labs in the ship, what do you think of the idea of having labs in the ship rather than dojos?
All right.
Do you want to answer first, or shall I jump in?
I'll attempt to answer it. So I think that Sai comes from a solo, like, he has a solo clan, and like if you're alone in your clan, then building a clan dojo and building the labs is quite a hassle to do it all by yourself, and it's the only place you go to like grab the stuff, and then it's kind of like what we discussed, like you don't go to your dojo and then go to navigation to a mission, so it's like an extra step. I do think if you were to take those out and put them into a ship, then there's almost no reason for a clan dojo. And I think that it's also, I can really understand that a clan dojo has things to research. It's like, hey, we're coming together with a collective and we're like researching this thing. Like, it makes sense. I feel it adds a layer that a foundry, like, it adds a layer above a foundry, and if it would just come back into the ship, it would just be like, oh, you just buy a blueprint from the market and you add it to the foundry, and it would just be the same of more of the same. And I think that this actually, like, it adds a layer on top of it, and I like that. So I would think this would be a loss a little bit.
Personally, if I had to choose, I'd rather have Samaris's shop accessible in the Lisette.
Yeah,
I
and
hate having to go to him specifically, though I do like the button that takes you straight to him.
I was so hoping that on like Samaris's thing in your ship, you could go to the simulacrum immediately, but you can't. And I'm like, no. I was so
Well,
hoping
at
for
least you
that.
can go to him, at least.
At least you can get to him real fast. All right, more questions.
Okay, if Warframe did add the labs to the orbiter, I think that will allow ships to be way bigger, because right now we only have 3 rooms: kid room, infested room, quarters. Why have a massive ship in the void that is only 3 rooms? So don't know if people have realized the orbiter's not in the void anymore. It hasn't been
It's
in the
not.
void for a long. They took it out. The dialogue lines, like from Ordis saying, keeping the Lisette in the void, that was removed at least for episode 250 of 10 o'clock, because D.E. Drew said, like, yeah, I removed it. I'm like,
Oh my god!
yeah.
Hey, if you want to know all the spoiler, all the good stuff, just happens on 10 o'clock. You got to be watching that as well. But I think I personally think that it's already big. I think it's really big. Like I would not want to have anything added personally to my orbiter, because at first I thought that my orbiter was just my Lisette ship, and I thought that was really cool. That was just like flying around, and then we got like the below compartment and the more and more rooms. I was like, okay, well, this is a separate thing. But like I wouldn't like that to be like the size of a dojo. Like it's just for me personally, and like I think like I'm someone that's kind of like into realism of a game, and I'm already like, well, why do I have this really big thing if I've just woken up? It's like, who does Lotus pay that I can have this? It's like it's a pretty big thing already for me alone, and I can understand that Clan Dojo are way bigger, but like I wouldn't want it to be that much bigger. Yeah, it's like we might be getting new ships with Railjack, as we saw on the Tenno Life thing, and I'm like, those will be bigger, and I think that will be fun. But I think, yeah, like
Okay. Next question. Thoughts on Wisp?
ooh,
Keep
okay.
it brief.
I thought she was gonna be stealthy, and if you go and check out Joey's theory, he made a really cool video on how to do the parkour thing. I really like her as a damage dealer. Really like her. Synergies are great.
Okay. My thoughts are, I haven't played it yet.
Ooh,
no time.
interesting. How so?
No time. Right. Next question. Sorry. I don't know if I said Muda asked the last one. So Cephalon Tribal asks, do you think Railjack will give dojos more of a reason to exist? I hope so.
Yeah, me too. As far as I've seen and heard from talking around TennoCon at the time, it seemed like a clanny thing where it was like clan research, and I think that would be really cool. And like I don't necessarily know what Railjack will be necessarily, like where they place it in Warframe, because I've seen people rumor that it might be a replacement for raids. It might not be. It might just be like a new Arcwing thing, and people are afraid will be Arcwing 2.0. And I'm like, I don't really know what it's gonna be, and like what the difficulty level will be, and where it will sit. I really hope there will some be high on the difficulty level. That would be amazing. Where like you really need to use all 4 people to like complete it, which kind of looked that way in the demo. So we're gonna have to see, but I hope that it will work. Like it will add more to the clans.
Thalian Grace asks, what would you think if Railjack update is a stealth clan update? I really just don't think it is.
I don't think it's either. I talk about some hopeful things sometimes. I do always want to like put down there, so like you can hope, but like keep it, like just be like, well, it will be fun, but don't kind of like, sometimes people hope and they kind of start counting on it, and I try to not count on anything, and then be surprised.
Right, so Muda asks, wasn't the Railjack Bay intended to be a room? Yes, in your clan, so we don't know how the integration
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if there's any other... Okay, so Circular Sai asks, I don't think there's any other questions here. Circular Sai asks, would you like a sentient Warframe / pet.
Revenant, Revenant, Revenant. He's an Eidolon, and isn't that a sentient?
Well, I kind of feel that Eidolons are
I
just
agree.
zombie sentients. They're not real sentients. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
To answer the question, no. I would like to keep those two things. Though conceptually it's a cool idea, don't get me wrong. I would like there to be a big distinction between the lore, yes and
All right, so I made a video like a while ago, 2 years ago maybe, about, it was around when Octavia came out, about the declamification of Warframe, and I thought it was a bit of a problem. And I think that over the last few years it's kind of like stabilized out. But what I meant with the clamification of Warframe is I'm all in for a good meme, but sometimes if you make fun of yourself too much, then like it just becomes a little bit sad. And I thought that at a certain point where we took Warframe, which was this dark, spacey, edgy ninja game where it was like you're killing Grenier, you're saving the universe or whatever, you know, Lone Tenno, ninjas play free, where it started out with, ended up with, hey, I'm an Octavia and I'm dancing around with my like fashionable colors. Look at me, let me just show off all the colors and like be in the center of attention, and I have Clem around and I have all these pets and like build and it's like, well, where's the like necessity anymore? Like where's this thing of this Lone Tenno that's being hunted by Grenier? It's just like everyone's just having a party, and I was like, well, you know, we should kind of make sure that we take the game at least to a certain degree serious, because if we don't, then we'll be like, it won't be that great. And I feel that the sentients right now are for years speculated to be like the big new enemy faction, which I think we haven't really fought yet, because I still don't really consider the fighting the sentients on Lua to be like, oh, I'm fighting the sentients. You know, not really.
oh, Lua.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go to Lua and I'm fighting the sentient faction. It's like one or two of them, but I'm fighting them. It's like, no, not really. And I think Eidolons are a class support as well. So I think that they have the potential to like be really interesting as an enemy faction if we then go ahead and like, oh my god, I have a sentient pet. And oh my god, I'm a sentient. It's like, they're not really terrifying anymore if they're like, oh, I have him as a pet. It's like Moas aren't terrifying anymore because we have them as pets. So, yeah.
Yep, agreed.
So, do you want to take one more question or round it up?
Are there any more questions?
Let me see. I think I saw Darium say something. Any thoughts on the following? I think the problem with the HEMA is not the amount of resource needed, but the type. Since one can't get large amounts of mutagen samples for normal gameplay, one has to run dedicated farming grounds specifically for those. I would personally welcome Dojo resources, which requires stupid amounts of resources as long as those drop during normal gameplay. For example, Ghost Clans need 10 million alloy plates or 1k Morphix for a new weapon. How do you feel on that?
Okay, here comes the unpopular opinion.
Ooh.
You can farm mutagen samples quite easily. Right, regardless of having a resource booster or drop chance booster or anything like that. Just go do the derelict. It's where a lot of people hate to go, and you can't pubby it. I appreciate that. But if you just make a simple squad, you can get so much more mutagen samples from the derelict than from Eris. Okay. Oh no, that's it's not quickly enough. Then you can save up for a booster. Oh no, and there's Warframes, like you can take Hydroid, Necros, what's the Korra,
yeah,
and any one survivability Warframe like Oberon to keep everyone else alive, and you can just farm the ever-loving F out of the stuff. Take a companion that has vacuum or fetch.
Mm-hmm.
You need to work for some of them.
I think that it's important to keep in mind that a game like Warframe, we talked about the sustainability of the updates last time. I think it's really important for Warframe to be a sustainable and enjoyable game that they have frequent economic resets, which to explain what an economy reset is that you either like have you actually basically it's just like you get things for which you have to farm new resources again. And this is what you see with Plains of Eidolon or with Fortuna, or even Nightwave, where you get things that you have to get for Nightwave credits, or Fortuna standing, or resources you can only get through Fortuna, where it's like, shit, I don't have those, but then you can play. Because let's say that every single thing that comes out just uses this exact same resources, you're gonna have a crazy amount of alloy played. So you're gonna have to like find a way to like make it challenging again. And I think that going to the Orc and Derelict,
that's why they do new resources.
Yeah. And going to the Orc and Derelict is a way. And if you would go with like 10 million alloy played, yes, it would work well for you. And I would kind of be like, I really thought that the Pyrrhus project, where we're going to be rebuilding the relays, that I thought that was going to be a massive like community blueprint. And I was so down for that. I was like, it's going to be millions of things and everyone's got to like pitch in over a certain amount of time, and we need to have like 100,000 argon, so everyone like has to like put in the argon at the same day, and then like, but it was like struck components and all right, well, whatever, man. So, but yeah, if you're gonna have a resource that's gonna cost 10 million alloy plate, it might work for you, and it might drain your resources, which is good in a sense, but for a new player that would just be more hell than the Hema is.
Okay, so I think, okay, fine. One last question, and then we're done, right? Because I got a video to edit.
Ooh.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess I could. Right, okay, what is your favorite Warframe and why? Only one. And if the Warframe was real, who will you want to? Sorry, who will you want to be and why?
Let's just take the favorite Warframe question. Let's just take one.
That's two questions. Only one.
Yeah, you said one.
So what's your favorite Warframe?
I'm gonna go with Excalibur. Even though I don't play him in game, I just like him because I had him from like the start. There are more Warframes that I play more regularly now, but I just think that like I use him in my 2 minutes last hashes. I like him.
Okay.
You? Ember Prime.
No.
Fa?
I'm torn between Nova and Oberon. I'm probably going to say Oberon because he's just like so much more durable.
I have to say I really, really like Oberon too. And every time I play with Oberon, I think of you. You're the one true Goat Lord.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's
cool. Right, so let's close this off. So if you want to see the full episode, say you missed the beginning of it, you can go check it out on youtube.com/postmalonegames.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets uploaded on Wednesdays. Is tomorrow?
Yeah, it will be live in 24 hours. Twitch kind of has this affiliate contract thing where the content is exclusive to Twitch for 24 hours. So in 24 hours, it will be live on the YouTubes. A lot of people don't know about that, but I kind of rather stay clear with that. Okay. And check out youtube.com/Xenogelion, where the the highlights video will be posted. Honestly, it's pretty amazing because like I've seen the first two. Xeno posted the first two last week. Basically cuts out all the rambles, and it's like directly to the point within like 15 to 20 minutes. So if you miss the things or you watch the entire thing, you're like, I kind of want to know what the highlights were. We kind of want to know the main points. Check it out because it's pretty amazing. So yeah,
I'm gonna try and get those out on Fridays. But if you're interested, if you're listening on either of those two things, you can actually check us out on Tuesday at what 7:30 Central European time.
Yes.
And then that's 2:30 Eastern time, so EDT, and then that will be 11:30 PDT.
I think it's 1:30 Eastern time, and then there are 6 hours between. Yes, so it's 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then 11:30 a.m. on Pacific time.
10:30.
Oh yeah, 10:30. There's 3 hours.
3 hour difference.
Yeah, 3 hour difference. You'll just like be on the channel 24/7. You'll figure it out. But I want to say, guys, thank you so much for watching. I want to say thank you so much because I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun talking about clans. I hope you did too.
Yep.
So we'll see you guys next week. If you guys have any topics that you want to recommend, this topic here was recommended by a viewer on Xeno's channel. He had it in the comments, and we were like, "Ooh, we want to jump on that." So leave it in the chat, leave it in the comments down below, and we'll see you all next.